again, everybody. Welcome to the Backbone Podcast, where common sense still makes sense in a world that is sick and only getting sicker. And today was a little bit of a wacky social media day, if social media can get any wackier. We were, well, not we, maybe not you, but in a sense, I was kind of anticipating this new awakening, this great MAGA movement that was going to free speech and take away censorship and limitations that the demonic Democrat liberal progressives had put on everyone for so many years. And newly created YouTube accounts for Alex Jones and Nick Fuentes were created and were supposed to be reinstated today. They were both taken down hours after their creation, despite the anticipation that the platform would begin reinstating these banned accounts. According to Brianna Morello, one of Jones's Infowars network, she stated, and I quote, "The censorship war is still on, it looks like. They're trying to stop Infowars." I don't know who she means by they. They're trying to stop Alex Jones. Nick Fuentes wrote on X today, "Sounds a little ridiculous. Can't we just have free speech? I've been banned since February of 2020 when I was 21 years old." And that seems like ages ago. Now, many on the conservative right have been expecting a flood of reinstated accounts in the coming days. Representative Jim Jordan, a Republican chair of the House Oversight Committee, shared a letter earlier this week from YouTube's parent company, where Alphabet said it would give creators who were banned for repeated violations of COVID-19 and election-related content policies that are no longer in effect the chance to rejoin. Wait a second. How did I write this? I'm sorry. Election content policies that are no longer okay. So they're basically those COVID and those election things are gone away. Jordan, appearing to oversight the extent of the company's comments, wrote on X on Tuesday the change would, and I quote, "offer all creators previously kicked off of YouTube due to political speech violations to return to the platform," end quote. Well, apparently nobody gives a shit about what Congress or the president has to say, which leads me to believe that MAGA has kind of lost its edge. I mean, is it effective anymore? Is Donald Trump really an effective leader? Has he done anything that makes you go, "Oh man, this is awesome"? No. YouTube wrote on X on Thursday that reinstated efforts haven't begun yet. Thursday, I should say. Did I say Tuesday? Quote, "We terminated these channels as it's still against our rules for previously terminated users to start new channels," according to the company. The pilot program for terminations that many people have been referencing to this week isn't available yet and will be limited. It will be a limited pilot program to start. We'll have more on how the program will work, who is eligible, and how creators can access it soon. So there's nothing free speechy about this. YouTube is still going to censor whoever they want. Now, they're a private company, so I guess they can do this. But if you're going to censor Nick Fuentes, Alex Jones, and probably right-wing people, you got to be a little balanced. Because if you're going over social media airwaves or any type of airwaves and there are complaints, that's when the FCC gets involved. Now, I'm not 100% sure where the FCC's power is in social media. I don't want it anywhere near social media. Social media is the last bastion of hope to get your views across. And remember, Trump is in there now. 4 years from now, 8 years from now, God knows who will be in there. And if they have control over social media, we're all fucked. Now, Jones and Fuentes may not be eligible to rejoin under the program, even when it does get going. So a lot of people have been, I think, hoodwinked by all this. And I think a lot of people are going to be upset. Jones was taken off YouTube prior to the pandemic in 2018 for violations including hate speech and child endangerment. Fuentes was banned in 2020 for hate speech. Nonetheless, some criticized the moves to remove the channel because, again, what is hate speech? Define it to me. Everybody's definition of hate speech is different. The Trump administration ally and Ohio gubernatorial candidate Vic Ramaswamy, listen, I'll keep going. Compared to the removals to the temporary suspension of late-night host Jimmy Kimmel, who was briefly taken off the air following the pressure from the Trump administration and local affiliates. This Ramaswamy guy is another Kash Patel light. And I wouldn't trust him with if the people of Ohio voted this guy, then they deserve every horror that awaits them. Every single horror. Ramaswamy says, and I quote, "Our country is at its best when we're able to hear one another. Nick Fuentes and Jimmy Kimmel probably don't like me, God, for different reasons," end quote. Ramaswamy also wrote on X, "I don't care. It's still un-American to muzzle the peaceful expression of opinions. And no, that's not a legal point. It's a cultural point." Well, you're not from this culture, dude. So how would you know? Now, of course, Alex Jones, as you can see, completely went off the rails today. Completely went off the rails today. Look at what he did. I'm not going to tell you who he looks like because he might just have a funny mustache. He's going to tell you himself. Let's hear from the man, the myth, the legend, Alex Jones.
Obviously, everybody watching is only thinking about my mustache right now. You are not thinking about all the incredible earth-shaking news I'm about to cover. And that's because as a species, or really any species, we go off the way things look, the colorations of things. What's on a butterfly? What's on a snake? The patterns out there. That's what we have. And so after World War II, for the last 80 years, everything has been a paradigm of, is it Hitlerian or is it Captain America? And the left in Europe and the United States and the UK and Australia, New Zealand, they've continued on the psychology of World War II. And then the Democrats and the colleges and the think tanks and the ADL, they then say that white men are Hitler. Christianity is Hitler. Hillary said a few days ago, we have these evil white men that are Christians. And they're the problem with the world. And, of course, she's called Trump Hitler. So have all the other Democrats over and over again. And, of course, that was 80 years ago and really has nothing to do with what's going on here today. And that's why the left actually promotes and hypes up white supremacist groups and Nazis and has made tens of thousands of movies about it. And they put out reports. Biden did the #1 terror threat is white supremacy, and there's record level whites attacking Asians when it didn't even exist. You know all that. Trying to brand everything and keep the whole world Hitler versus Captain America, and the globalists and the New World Order and the Israel lobby, they're Captain America, and everybody else is Hitler. And so a lot of people are sick of it, but they're not very sophisticated and have not actually studied that Hitler was a very kleptocratic, totalitarian, megalomaniacal individual. It doesn't mean some of the forces he was opposing were good either, but that's the bottom line. And so that's why I'm doing this social experiment, I think for just a few days. But I don't know. I went to a gas station. I went in a grocery store this morning, and it was spectacular. Being a white guy that has German features, classical German features, and with a Hitler mustache, and it was very interesting. I could tell you it had a wild effect on women. I thought they were about to start throwing their panties at me. And they didn't know why. They were looking at me because most modern women, even young ones, don't really even know even what Hitler is, but they in the back of their head they know what it is. So they got a guy with kind of Lex Luthor meets Adolf Hitler looks with blue eyes, and they just didn't know what to do. They're like melting.
All right. So there you got a little fun from Alex. Listen, if anything, I remember Alex Jones when I was working at Fox back in 1997, 1998. I knew a guy who was a producer from Austin, Texas, and he used to bring VHS tapes of Alex Jones. And I think he was in his garage, probably in his parents' house at the time. He was my age. I think Alex Jones and I are the same age. And the stuff that he was saying, and it seemed ridiculous at the time. I was just interested because I loved conspiracy theories, still do. But it turned out the guy said everything the guy said was true. Fluoride in the water, they're chemicals that are turning frogs gay. It's great. I mean, everything he said. The Bohemian Grove thing, he had me hooked when he infiltrated Bohemian Grove. That was incredible. That's just nuts. The fact that he was able to do that and prove it when everybody said it was bullshit, it was a conspiracy theory, it's nonsense, it's all this, and then all of a sudden, he filmed it. He got in there. I mean, they tried to destroy you by just ruining your credibility. That's the Saul Alinsky Machiavellian way of attacking you. But is Alex Jones off the rails? I don't know. I mean, the social experiment. He's lucky he's in Texas. I think he's still in Austin. I don't know if this would do so well in Los Angeles or in New York. People might think he's mentally disturbed. But this whole thing with YouTube is just very concerning. And what else is concerning was, it's not news, I can't confirm it, but what we've been seeing swirling around social media and even on Google is Kash Patel possibly issuing warnings about Israeli conspiracy theories. So FBI Director Kash Patel has agreed to team up with Democrat Representative Jared Moskowitz. Wonder what Protestant evangelical tribe he's from, to push censorship on Americans on social media who share conspiracy theories about Israel. This, I'm not gonna say this is happening because I haven't seen anything concrete yet. But if this is true in any way, if there's a smither of it that's true, Trump is a traitor to the United States, because this is, again, what's a conspiracy theory? Tell me what a conspiracy theory is. Tell me what hate speech is. So if I go on this channel now and talk about how a certain tribe of people got kicked out of 109 countries, am I to expect the FBI to be knocking down my door in 10 minutes? I mean, is that what we're looking at now? Is this where we're at? Because as Voltaire once said, to learn who rules over you, simply find out who you are not allowed to criticize. That's 100% true. You can have conspiracy theories about French people all you want. You can have them about blacks. You can have them about Asians. You can have about Hindus. You can have about, maybe not Muslims, but you can have them about Russians and Ukrainians. But there's one people you dare not talk about. And that's those people with the funny little hats. And I want to know why. Why are there so many people that will just die in a hill for this country, for that country? I just don't get it. It makes absolutely no sense to me. And I just don't understand the love for this place. It's as if there's more love for Israel amongst the evangelical Protestants than there is for America itself. Maybe I'm wrong, but it just seems to me that this has gotten to the point where this country is bought and paid for, and there's nothing anybody can do to stop it. It's sad that one little slither of desert can control a country of enormous wealth, enormous power, or at least we thought it was enormous power, and just completely control it like some pitiful little giant. So yeah, that's where we're at, folks. That's where we're at. This is now, it's now getting to the point of 1984, if you've ever read that book. We're looking at stuff like this, where the federal government's going to target people who criticize another country, and that only that country. It's scary. And it doesn't seem like voting is going to get you out of this, because it doesn't matter if you put this guy in there or that gal in there or whoever, they still follow the same line. You know, Tucker Carlson, it doesn't matter who you listen to. Tucker Carlson he's a Jew lover. I mean, we keep hearing about this Charlie Kirk. He was one of the biggest Israel supporters, and he was getting Israeli money. That's why he is out as any sort of hero to this country. He had nothing good to say about this country as a whole. He was an evangelical Protestant who believed that we as Christian, real Christians, we as Americans and Christians have to worship Jews in Israel, because his tainted version of the Bible said that. And he was a naive little boy. And again, I hate to shit on this guy 2 weeks after he's dead, but I mean, he was one of the issues. He was one of the problems. Now, YouTube, we're going to see where they go from here, and we'll update this if anything changes. But it doesn't look like Fuentes or Jones will be back on YouTube anytime soon, if ever. And that's a shame. That's a shame. But there are other platforms, as you know. I'm on other platforms, BitChute, Rumble, all that. But yeah, it seems that the Trump MAGA, it's just the same old shit. It's such a gerbil running around in that circle, running around that wheel. And there's my 2 cents. All right. Thank you again for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, and share. Be careful out there, my friends. Satan is always, always busy. Be a man, have a backbone, because masculinity and common sense are worth standing up for. And remember, if it ends in an ism, it's a mental disorder. We'll see you later.